One of the funniest things I'm seeing on the internet right now is GTA 6 and the game costing $100. I see a lot of people complaining and saying, man, is it going to cost 600? The news, the media, it's like they're beating this drum to try to get you used to $100 game. This is not new in the sense of gamers paying $100 for a game. I think what we should say is they want to raise the price, or they're gunning to raise the price of the standard edition to $100. If you notice, and I'm going to pick on Doom the Dark Ages here because, it's the more recent one coming soon. They have a collector's bundle that's $200. Now, this bundle comes with, some, in quote, cool stuff, right? You can get a bunch of extras when you buy it. Now, $30 by itself of this bundle is for the early access. You get to get day one, 3 days early or 2 days early access to play the game. Then maybe $70 of it is the game itself. But then the remaining $99, is probably maybe some of the artifacts and the statue and all that stuff. Now, it's your choice what you want to buy, but I'm just saying that we've already crossed that bridge a long time ago, and we've already enabled a lot of these companies. There's no putting anything back into Pandora's box. If you like buying collector's editions of games, you are a collector. That's your thing. I don't usually do that. The most you see me buy is like a gold or deluxe edition, and many of them have been under $100 price tag. Now, in my case, I can justify it. I can be like, hey, I make videos with it. You guys watch my videos, YouTube, ad revenue, and it's a business expense. And I'll tell you, if you do not want to buy it, then do not buy it. It's your prerogative if you actually decide against that. But the whole conversation now that, this $100 game is making and causing worry is something that I have to literally point out to our gaming community and say, maybe the gamer can exercise what's called a little bit of self-restraint, a little bit of discipline. I don't want to tell you what to do, but why are you worried about a game that is going to cost you way more money than you're about to play, that you're willing to pay? In fact, if you feel pressured by the possibility of a $100 game, then you have not trained the, what's their name? You haven't trained the company that's giving you a service properly. You see, let me say something and let me speak freely. And again, like I said, I'm not interested in telling anybody what to do. One of the best things that you want to do is you want to train the companies that you patronize. You want to let them know that if they don't give you what you want on your own terms, that's the end of y'all's relationship. If you don't do this, you're going to be in a position where you're going to constantly be paying a ton of money for products and services that they offer you, especially in the gaming market where there is enough saturation to actually back you up and to actually help you. And this is where I kind of have a little bit of a, hesitance in talking too much about this stuff, because for the most part, when you say stuff like that to gamers, many people are in their own little ways. They like what they're doing. And again, if you have the money to buy these games, I'm not even referring to you. You can close the video and be like, yeah, this is for people who want to talk about this stuff. But this is a market now where there, as of last year, 18,968 games coming out on Steam. What you should be doing is you should probably be going and doing what Steam players have done for the longest time, is they just go back and play back catalogs of games and then new interesting games. Y'all saw it. Balatro did very well. It showed up on the Game Awards for the best indie game. But then when the Steam data came out, about 15% of Steam players were playing brand new games. Do you know why? Because most Steam players are just basically weathering these games out and pretty much getting their prizes to shave off. That's what we're doing. We came to PC gaming because we wanted to control a lot. Now, there are people who are going to buy the game brand new day one. Nothing wrong with that. But then there are also people who are just going to be like, I'll wait for the game to basically shave up prices. They literally talk about it. Like, some will play the game because Steam has that value proposition. They'll buy the game. They want to buy the game. They want to play the game. But if the game is not meeting their standards, they refund it immediately and say, to me, it's not worth a $60 game. There was a Ninja Turtles game that came out just recently. It's this one here, Splintered Fate. Now, my kids, they played the Shredder's Revenge. They beat it. It's interesting for the kids to play a game that feels like good old arcadey games from back in the day. So they were super stoked about it. So this other game came out. I think it's a different development studio from the ones that did Shredder's Revenge. I think, if I'm correct. Yes, these guys are just doing this new one. And so I started reading the reviews. And some people were like, this game is not worth the $30 price fee that they're asking for it. And so that was a very interesting discovery. And many people are going to go ahead and say, if it's not worth it, they go ahead and refund it in that regard. So the savvy nature of, what I've seen here as a PC gamer and seeing other PC gamers leverage that, to me, that's the consumer exercising their benefits. And people do it on console as well. Some of you that are talking about GTA 6 and blah, 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 you're going to wait for a used copy of that game to show up on console. You're not going to spend $100 if they dare do that. You're just going to laugh and go ahead and say, why would I want to give these guys $100? So some of you're financially savvy, but there is a large general populace that, for the most part, they're just going to go ahead and buy whatever it is that they want. I'm not saying that what they're doing is bad, but I'm just saying they can't complain because they have not trained these companies to behave and act accordingly. And they patronize games and that they want. It is what it is. But we can't come back and say we want to put Pandora's box. We want to put Pandora back into the box. I think I've reached that age where, to me, hype is very. I see it more apparent. How a lot of companies have sold games for the longest time. They use hype to do it. That's what they do. So a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm so excited." No, not me. It doesn't. Well, I guess, like I said, when you kind of take away the reality that brand loyalty is just basically at this stage a fool's errand in many cases. You're supposed to basically prioritize value more than anything else. Then you realize that, okay, I can simply just wait for a game if I want to. And there are many games to play in such a saturated market. There's always going to be something for you to play. Always is. If you don't want to pay a price for a specific game that launched at a specific time. In fact, I have my own challenges in terms of, having to deal with this and having to basically reconcile the fact that these last few years, 2023, 2024, 2023 and 2024, I paid for 3 games that I haven't played because their performance is whack. Yeah, I'm literally sitting here and the 3 games, let's go ahead and take a look at these games because one of them came out very recently, sold 20 million copies, but it still has latency issues. When I try to play Black Myth Wukong, I cannot get consistency in my combos because for some reason there are these weird latency issues. Like I try. And keep in mind, like many of you may say, man, this might be a skill issue, but you have to realize that that notion is not comprehensible, especially in my case. And now it could be a skill issue, but I'm not certain that it's not the game. Simply because what game have I been playing the most of in my videos? It's Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is the one game that you must play from a timing perspective. Like the way you push your buttons, it uses time strikes. So there's a rhythm for all 4 characters that's very different for you to do a combo. If you don't do it properly, you're not going to be able to unlock the next set of moves. And I can do that consistently, as much as, it may sound weird, because I know many of you that said you don't like Gotham Knights combat. I warned most of you. I said, guys, it's a high ceiling, combat system. It really is. I know you might say this is crazy, but I got Wukong. I was excited to play it, and the game basically did not resonate in terms of me not being able to hit my combos. Now, for the 20 other million people that loved it and enjoyed it, great for them, but it was disappointing for me, and that's why the game is basically sitting in my library. I haven't played only about an hour or 2. Another game that did that to me was Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma 2. Bought this game, and the game is a stuttery frame droppy mess. After all the excitement, I was like, yeah, let's get into Dragon's Dogma and all that stuff. And the performance is just weird. So again, I haven't paid $60 or whatever much these games are asking for. I bought them on CD Keys, so I didn't pay $60. What's the other one? Star Wars Jedi Survivor, right? 3 games in the last 2 years that I bought, and I bought them at launch. And these games, they all had their little issues here and there. So why should I be motivated to give anybody $100? And I don't play GTA, but even if I did, what's the motivation behind it? Now, even though you may say, well, Rockstar is going to optimize their game. Well, I'm already burned, right? If I was going to play GTA, I'm not going to be so googly eyed. In fact, if anything, I'll be cautious about the entire premise. So again, if the gaming industry, wants to encourage the developers to give them $100 standard edition games, I mean, by all means, they can go ahead. Like, I'll never tell anybody what to use their money for, to do with their money, but I won't do it, right? Not anymore. In fact, I've already reached that point where it's like, even though I'm a content creator, and like I'll say I'm a content creator, blah, 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 business expense and all that, still not even interested. Why? Because there are just so many other games that are coming out. You know, and many of you might say, but it's GTA. I've never played GTA before. And I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. I never have bothered. I mean, I played back in the PC days, but I never, you know, everybody overestimates this one game. Like, yeah, there are not enough gamers out there that aren't going to play it. But again, forget that stance. Just think about this particular reality that we're talking about. I strongly believe right now that we really need a revision on our priorities, I guess I'll say, in the gaming scene. Because a lot of these companies, so far, they haven't been too compelling since Elden Ring came out. And that's just what it is. Elden Ring just spoiled me. And so a lot of these games, I just look at them and be like, all right, whatever. But it is what it is. You know, these are my thoughts. These are my positions on the issue. I'm sure it's probably antithetical to what a lot of people are thinking, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.